I wander through each chartered street, near where the chartered Thames does flow, and mark in every face I meet marks of weakness, marks of woe. In every cry of every man, in every infant's cry of fear, in every voice, in every ban, the mind-forged manacles I hear. How the chimney sweepers cry, every blackening church appalls, and the hapless soldier's sigh runs in blood down palace walls. But most through midnight streets I hear how the youthful harlot's curse blasts the newborn infant's tear and blights with plagues the marriage hearse.
Is something which is listed and regulated. The streets are clearly controlled here, but it also suggests that the Thames, the river, likewise is controlled, nature being controlled by man. And that's something that, as a romanticist, William Blake would not have been happy with, because he felt that nature couldn't be controlled by man. Is a really simple and basic poetic technique, and here the repetition of the word marks is simple, and it's there to show that they exist in all people, and perhaps more than one in each person is also suggested by the plural of marks rather than just mark. It is suggesting that everyone is without power and in misery, a powerful statement. The term mark can be a metaphor even for a brand, as if these people don't look tired, but that they are branded with this look to show their place in society as a lower class citizen. Now, the repetition of in every here is used to emphasize and show the scale of the suffering of every person that he sees. Now, alliteration of mind and manacles helps draw our attention to the metaphor that he's making. Blake has shown that these people are not physically held back, but their belief in their own weakness holds them back metaphorically, and that they've become handcuffed or manacled into the weakness that's created by their mind. Remember that these chimney sweepers were probably not like Bert from Mary Poppins, but could possibly be young boys who would be sent up the chimney, and therefore that is part of their misery that they're experiencing and why they're crying out the way that they are. Church bells were one of the main sounds that would have been heard every 15 minutes in that time in the city of London. When we compare the sound of church bells to the sound of the young chimney sweeping boys, it creates a quite clear juxtaposition. This contrast, the cries of the innocent, dirty children with the supposedly clean but corrupt church, is something that William Blake was really trying to emphasize, because he was so upset and annoyed with the way that the church was supposed to be helping people but simply wasn't. Bit of information for context. Blake was actually a believer in God, and he believed in Jesus, so he was a Christian, but he didn't agree with organized religion. Blake saw religion as a tool to keep the people down, and therefore was wrong or blackening. Think of the words that we would use to represent purity would be white, but he's showing that the church is blackening. So he thinks it's because it's blackening and not just black, that it's getting worse and it's becoming more of an issue for the society. This quotation draws on the link to war that was taking place at this time. The blood running down the palace walls signifies the sacrifice of the soldiers to protect the power of those who live in the palaces. It's not a literal thing, it's a symbolic metaphor here to show that other people are giving their lives and losing their blood so that the people can sit nicely and safely in the palaces. Harlot is a slang term for prostitutes or low-class women. Blake's corrupting the idea of childbirth here with sexual exploitation and hate. The newborn infant, therefore, is born into a broken world. This will certainly be a curse for them. Now, curse, you can look into the ambiguity of the word curse. Could also be that the mother is literally swearing or cursing at the child, and that's what's making the child cry, perhaps. But there's lots to look at within this one. More on here, which juxtaposes the joy of marriage with the misery of death. Blake suggesting that the society has destroyed all of the good things in life, and that even marriages are just a misery. Always think about the reason the poem has been written. Think about the way the poet has used certain techniques to create an effect in the poem, and always think about a poem that could be compared to this poem.